Good evening and welcome. Tonight we are going to begin reading this special National Geographic magazine, Atlas of the Ancient World. We're going to continue a tradition where this is technically an unscripted video, as you can tell by I'm already leaving in a blooper. It's minimal edits and me reading this for the first time. I just finished a huge series where we looked at maps from the dawn of humanity to modern day, and it was a lot of fun. So we're going to try to continue it with this magazine, looking at it one map at a time. So I have only looked at a couple of the maps. I have not read anything in this magazine. We're going to do it together. So I hope you enjoy. That being said, let's start with the first map here, which we're going to ignore. I'm not sure what this is. I haven't read it, but we're going to start with Chapter 1, the Cradle of Civilization, the Cradle of Culture. And starting with the land between the rivers, which is what Mesopotamia means in Greek. I finally get to shove this down. Ready? Oh, so satisfying. Finally, I get to push this down. So let's read this page. I think we're going to stop. Yeah, because there's another map on the other page. We're just going to read these two pages here and then analyze this map. It looks very detailed. Let's get into it. Land between the rivers. Arcing. I can't even read the first word. Arcing between the Mediterranean Sea and the Persian Gulf, the rich land around the Tigris and Euphrates rivers became known as the Fertile Crescent. Bordered by mountains to the north and desert to the south, the region was as fertile in human innovation as it was in agriculture. Now, as it did then, it forms a biological and cultural bridge between Europe and Asia, making it a crossroads for trade and a habitat for a diverse array of food crops. Let's read this little fact here. It says, left behind, the birth of writing. The Sumerians' greatest accomplishment was the invention of writing, which began as early as 3300 BCE. Propelled by the need to record business transactions for stored or traded goods, or to keep count of numbers of sheep, the Sumerians invented boule, soft, hollow clay balls. Buyers or sellers would make indentations into the clay in a sort of numerical tracking system. This record-keeping rapidly advanced to pictographs, simple representations of the object traded, incised on clay tablets. Over the centuries, the Sumerians found ways to express more complex ideas by combining symbols, for example, using the pictographs for water and a mouth to express to drink. In time, the pictographs grew ever more abstract and began to express syllables. Formed by wedge-shaped reeds, the impressions are now known as cuneiform, from the Latin word for wedge. You can see an example here. Little wedges. There's a ziggurat up here. I don't know why. Well, I mean, we are in Mesopotamia, but I'm sure it'll talk about ziggurats over here. That looks like right there. Let's read this box down here first. It says, the riches of history. The long, long history of Middle Eastern civilization is reflected in the ancient cities and archaeological sites of early Iraq and Syria, such as top of page opposite. Nailed it. For the most part, the old cities hugged the rivers, although a few, such as Palmyra, existed as desert way stations. Some sites, including Nippur, have yielded historical riches. Others, such as early Babylon, have been lost to changing climates or the continuing ravages of war. Now, there's a little box here where we can see the Fertile Crescent. with the modern country borders we can see here. So it's going a bit into Egypt there in the Sinai. We have Israel, a bit into Lebanon, a little bit in Jordan, and then Palestinian states as well. There's Syria, a bit in Turkey there, and then down through Iraq to northern Kuwait and Iran right there, the Fertile Crescent. I always imagined the Fertile Crescent was like, would also include like the Nile Delta over here, but to each their own, I suppose. It would still be crescent shaped, wouldn't it? You can see the Tigris River and the Euphrates River crossing through there. There's the Persian Gulf, the Red Sea, the Mediterranean Sea. Alright, let's digest this map. It says Iraq's ancient heritage, and it's very tiny. Let me pick this up a little bit. An awesome record of human achievement defines the history of Mesopotamia, the land between rivers. Traditional birthplace of man for Jews, Christians, and Muslims. It provided seed and soil for nearly all that is good and evil in modern life. Literature, medicine, and science, despotism and warfare. Unprotected by natural barriers, at the mercy of unpredictable rivers, the region endured and profited from legions of invaders and migrants whose blood mingles with that of today's Iraqis. Interesting. Now, I don't know where to start because I haven't read this map, so we're just going to go left to right over here. This box says, for 1,000 years or more, the desert metropolis of Palmyra, right here, a cultural synthesis of East and West, was an entrepot for caravans between the Mediterranean and the Euphrates. Palmyra is beautiful today. This is pointing at Mari, another really neat site. It says a 260-room palace has yielded more than 20,000 cuneiform tablets. I don't know what that sound was. Okay. Cuneiform tablets, an archaeological gold mine. A Mesopotamian trading hub, Mari was ruled by Semitic-speaking kings. Let's go down here. Looks like we're pointing at Babylon by the looks of it. Though young by Mesopotamian standards, Babylon had been the capital of Babylonia for more than 1,000 years when it was sacked by the Assyrians in 689 BCE. My cat is crying, I'm sorry. Under Nebuchadnezzar, it rose phoenix-like to become the greatest city in the world. Here comes my cat. Is he coming? He hopped up on the desk base thinking about it. He'll be over in a second. Here's Nippur, right here. It says, an immense archive of cuneiform records. Sacred Nippur served as the spiritual font of power claimed by Sumerian and Akkadian kings. Like Nippur, Erech dates from the Ubaid culture. Its walls, according to legend, were built by Gilgamesh, epic figure of Mesopotamian literature. Okay. My cat's looking out the window now and meowing and stuff, so that's happening. Here's Ubaid right there, and there's Eridu and all right here along the river. Traditional birthplace of Abraham, the royal city of was abandoned in the 4th century BCE, probably after the Euphrates changed course, leaving enclosed by desert. Artifacts excavated at Eridu date from before 5000 BCE, fixing it as Mesopotamia's oldest city. I think I have a History Magazine article sitting around about Eridu. I should dig that up and request it for the channel members, but someday I will, maybe. Here pointing at Nineveh. It says the oldest and long the most important city of Assyria. Nineveh replaced Dur-Sharrukin as capital under the reign of Sennacherib, who ruled from 704 to 681 BCE, and who razed Babylon and ravaged the land of Judea, just much more over there, I can see Assyria. I can see Babylonia, Akkad, Sumer, and that's it. Everything else is modern towns and modern borders. Yes, kitty, I know. And they were pointing at Samara, which is also a really neat site. Enriched by plunder and tribute, the Assyrian capital of Nimrud under Ashurbanipal II, who reigned from 883 to 859 BCE, triumphed its might through monumental sculpture discovered during early British excavations. Very cool. This is a neat little map. Let's read all the other little towns in red, because those are the ancient ones. We have Tahalaf, Zenobia, which I assume is named after Queen Zenobia. Dura Europus, there's Mari, there's Palmyra. Muiwir. And then up here, let's see, hold on, I gotta get in closer, because there's a lot, I don't want to miss one. Let me move in closer here. Shanidar Cave, Tepagara, Der Sharukin, they mentioned before, that's Balawat, Nineveh, next to Mosul today. Arbela, with Arbel right there. Hasuna, Nimrud or Kala, it's Hatra, Ashur, Nuzi, and Jarmo, with Kirkuk today between them. There's Samara, Tal Asmar, Der Kurigalzu, that's a great name, Sipar, Seleucia, I assume that's where the Seleucid Empire is based on, or Ctesiphon, right? That's how you pronounce that. Ctesiphon. Baghdad, right in between all of these sites here. There's Babylon, there's Karbala right there as well, modern day city. There's Kish, there's Borsippa. Hi, kitty. Nippur, sorry about the cat. He is looking outside at something. Okay. Nippur, Shurupak, it's a great name. Uruk or Eric, as they had spelled it before, and that threw me off. I've never seen it spelled like that. I've only seen it as Uruk. We have Tel El Obeid or Ubaid. There's Eridu and There's Lakash or Tello, I'm guessing. There's also Tepe Musion and Susa over there. What's now Iran? Important town for the Persians. My mouth really wanted to say Babylonians. No, the Persian Empire. Susa was an important town during the height of the Persian Empire. We can also see some ancient kingdoms, I guess. There's Elam, there's the Kassites, and there's the Mitannis up here. She mentioned in History Magazine last week about Mitanni. And then we can also see the rivers. There's the Tigris River flowing this way. Then meeting out here at the Shatt al-Arab into the Persian Gulf. And here comes the Euphrates River from Turkey. Coming down. Oh, my poor cat. He's really upset about something. Going this way. There's Basra right there. And Kuwait City also. Yes. Oh, I see. This dotted line is the ancient shoreline as of 5000 BCE. Wait. So, oh, I see. Right here. Can you see? Let me get up close. Look at this. The ancient river right here. Past Almara. I hope you can see. Going this way was where it used to flow. And we can see the Euphrates used to flow this way as well. That's why Ur, they think, was abandoned. Going out here into Kuwait today. How interesting. Wow. Alright. I think that's going to be it for tonight. The other chapters are much longer. This kind of came out short. I really want to read the next one, but I know it's like a lot longer. It's like 4 pages, so we're just starting here with this cool map of Mesopotamia. pretty great. I guess if you want more, I will link my Iraq playlist up there. I've got videos about Mesopotamia, also modern day Iraq. I've done a video about Baghdad. I've done, what else, Basra, among others in Iraq. Such a beautiful country. So yeah, you can check that out if you want some more goodness. It won't be all unscripted like this. It'll be very scripted, but nevertheless, you can watch those. So thank you for watching. I do hope you found this video to be relaxing and educational. And I hope that you have a good